Hey lovers and friends! You're watching From Justin to Amelia, the Unicorn and the Walrus episode. Conscious conversations where a real couple talks about all the things men and women usually argue about and even break up over.
And today we're talking about the family. La familia.
La familia. So let's be real. Our families can annoy and piss us off, and so it adds a whole nother layer of complexity when it comes to introducing your spouse or partner to your family, because then it's all this, do I even like my family? Are they gonna like my family? Are they gonna like him? Are they gonna accept him? It's like all of these different things. Then put on top of that, growing up in totally different environments. I'm the youngest of 5 children.
I'm an only child.
I grew up in the city.
I grew up in the country.
And different cultures, different backgrounds. I have a huge family.
I have a big family.
I have a huge family.
It's just big. It's not huge.
Huge. Like everyone's kids have kids.
Like cousins on
the
cousins
kids have
on
kids,
cousins.
and the kids,
like,
kids
she
have
don't
kids.
even know all her family. I'm still
I don't even
meeting
know
them.
my family. And so how does that work? How do you integrate that without making it super messy and super weird? So for me, a lot of my family is out here in California with us. I have cousins out here and they all have kids. One of my cousins has 4 kids. The other one has 2. So there's just like kids on kids on kids and just lots of talking at the same time and loudness and chaos. A chaos that I didn't even know was chaos because it was just normal to me. I only realized it was chaos when I saw how poor Justin reacted one of the first times we were all hanging out, and it was a time that all of us were going to go to the movies, and we wanted to pick up boba and ice cream before we went, and so all the kids had opinions about it, and we're all there just shouting out what we want, and like, oh, I want to go here, okay, let's go there. And I see Justin sitting on the couch just like shut down, and we are talking to him, and I just was kind of like, what's wrong with you? Like, what do you want? And he just was shut down, and I just didn't understand it. I actually got pretty upset. I was like, you're being rude. Why aren't you talking? We're trying to make a decision here. Are you going to come with us? Are you going to go with them? Which car are you going to go into? Do you want boba, or do you want frozen yogurt? Or like, what do you want to do? And he just was not responding. He was like, okay, something's going on here. What was going on?
So I caught it. I caught the fire. This girl is little, but she has fire, and I caught it that day. So for me, it was fire, ladies and gentlemen, like fire. So anyway, yes, it was a lot for me, and a lot was happening, and I didn't even realize what was going on. And basically, there was people asking me questions. I was afraid. I didn't want to offend anybody. I wasn't used to all this noise. I'm used to like sitting here having conversations with myself and sitting here in silence. See, that's silence. That's might be weird for some of you, but I need alone time. I need to be by myself. And when you got several human beings around you all asking you for questions and what you want to do, I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't know how to express that because I've never been in that situation before. So when she asked me and she flipped out on me, I didn't even really know how to respond.
I didn't flip out.
And then later on, after I had time to think about it and process it, because I'm just a little bit slow when it comes to stuff like that, I'll admit it. I think, guys, it just takes us a little bit.
He's like USPS, like 3 days to process.
Yeah, ground shipping, not overnight.
FedEx ground.
So after I, processed it and came back, I was like, honey, I know what happened. I was overwhelmed. It took me a few days to figure it out, but I was like, that's what it was. I was like, I had all these different things going through my mind at one time, like, is he going to be mad? Are they going to be mad? Do I want this? Do I want that? And she's like, wow, oh my gosh, you poor thing. Like, no wonder. She's like, and I was like, that's it. I was like, I'm used to being by myself, and like, I've never have to make decisions like that on the fly. And that brought up a great conversation, because I was like, man, if I'm ever going to be a dad, I'm going to have kids, they're going to be screaming at me, wanting things from me, and then my wife is going to be upset, eventually, and she might be yelling at me. So like, man, I need to really like think about this. Like, it was a great conscious thing that came up for me.
And it was really humbling for me too, because I didn't realize that people lived like that. Again, I'm the youngest of 5 children. All my siblings have children. My mom was the youngest of 7 children. My dad is in the middle of 5 children, and all of them have kids. So that's a lot of cousins on both sides, and all my cousins got kids, and some of them got kids. So it's just kids on kids on kids and family. And that's just how things are in my household. It's always been a lot of like, and I'm tuned to that. I'm able to sift through all the questions buzzing all around and saying like, yep, I want to go there. This is what I want. I can just answer all the questions and then make a decision and then go. And I didn't even realize that another experience was possible. I mean, tell us about where you grew up and what one stop sign kind of town. Just, I don't know. I'm from the city. I'm from New York City, so I wouldn't. Where are you from?
I came from Ladysmith, Virginia, Caroline County, right outside of Richmond, Virginia, and that's basically in the middle of nowhere. There's not a lot out there. When I was first coming up, we had like a food line, and we had like one stoplight, and that was pretty much it. So for me, it was just really different when she was yelling at me about chaos. Like I didn't get it. So
I wasn't yelling at it. I was talking.
So now that we understood that, it was just great to be aware of it. So that's another thing too, is that both of us grew up with our families on the East Coast, and we're still getting to know our other sides of the family here on the West Coast, and that has been a challenge in itself too. I know for me, I grew up with a white Caucasian family in Virginia, and my dad, who lives over here on the West Side, they're in a Hispanic family, and I feel like I never really fit in any one place, because when I grew up in Virginia, I looked Hispanic, didn't fit in with my white-looking family, and then when I get over here, I'm a foot taller than everybody else, and I have a country accent, and I can't speak Spanish. So I feel like there was never any kind of place for me. And for Amelia, again, she grew up. Well, why don't you tell us about how you grew up?
I grew up in New York, mostly with my mom. So I don't know. It's not as interesting as your story.
So that was just one example of a way that our differences could have easily caused a big problem in our relationship. But because we cared enough about each other to have compassion for how the other felt, we were able to talk it out and come to a much deeper understanding.
That's right, guys. So we hope you had fun. Make sure you subscribe to the show from Justin to Amelia.com. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Let us know what you thought. Let us know who you'd like to see on the next episode. So until next time, we'll see you soon. Peace. It was very hard to say no to her all the time. But then even when I was in the other role, when I had to convince her that we should buy this, I came up with stuff that I would never even say. Like,